She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace. She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace.
Hey Barbie, Chloe. Period I, period 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 period I, period. Got my name up in your mouth, you don't know no better. Don't forget I'm from the south, yeah, I got them headers. You watching everything I do, studying all of my moves, what you could do, what I do. Period I, period period I, period period I, period period I, period.
Hello, Queen Esquire Squad. How is everyone? We are litigating our case with dignity and grace. So I wanted to provide some updates on a story that we have been covering and talking about. I previously talked about the tragedy that occurred in Frisco, Texas, regarding and concerning three teen, allegedly, boys that were involved. That's what the allegations are. Just to give a background, if you were not here when I first discussed this tragedy, Karmelo is a high school student. He is in a good family. He's raised by a good family. He has both his parents. They're married. He has 3 siblings. He is a 3.7 GPA student. He is not only in track meet, he is a track athlete, but he's also a football athlete. So he's very athletic. And during this tragedy, also let's talk about the victims involved. Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf are twins, and they also are athletes. They are 4.0 students. Well, at least Austin is, who is now deceased, rest his soul. He was a 4.0 student, and he also played football at his high school. So these students all have great, backgrounds. These aren't kids that are out here acting up. Well, people are saying rumors that the twins were bullies. I'm not sure if that's true, but that is an allegation that has been alleged against them. Now, just the background about what happened before we get into the updates. Karmelo went to a track meet. He was actually a part of this track meet. He was on the track and field team for his team. And it looks like Austin and the twins were just there watching the track meet. They weren't actually a part of the track meet, but they were just there watching the track meet. And during this tragedy that unfolded, it started to rain. And as the rain began to pour down very strongly and profusely, it was so rainy that Karmelo wanted to escape the rain. He was trying to get out of the rain. And Karmelo is the African-American boy that I have on the screen to the right. He was just trying to get out of the rain. So he hurried and tried to find cover in the closest tent, which was a tent for a different high school. And that particular high school was the school that the twins went to. So when the twins saw Karmelo come under their tent, they immediately took notice and became defensive and told him he needed to get away from their tent. Now, to me, in my opinion, humbly speaking, I just find that to be very absurd for a person, I don't care what age they are, to tell a person to remove from their tent when it's raining down, pouring down rain. I mean, there's no sense of humanity or empathy to say, oh, well, this kid is clearly trying to escape the rain. He's not trying to cause any problems. He's not trying to bother anyone. He just wants to get out the rain. That kind of didn't rub me the right way when I found out the reason why he went under a tent that he wasn't a part of their team. It rubbed me the wrong way because it was like, well, this kid clearly wasn't trying to cause problems. This kid was merely trying to get out the rain. So Well, anyways, while Karmelo was in the tent that belonged to a different team, Austin, one of the twins here on the screen, came up to Karmelo allegedly in an aggressive manner and told him he needed to leave from their tent. Now, Karmelo was like, make me. Like, basically, I don't need to move, make me. And I don't think Karmelo, in my opinion, was really trying to cause problems. I think he just didn't want to leave because he didn't want to get wet in the rain. It was cold and it was rainy. He really was just like, leave me alone. I'm just trying to get out the rain, basically. That's what I'm suspecting that's what he was saying. So, well, then that just caused more aggression that came from Alex, or is his name Alex? Austin, sorry, Austin. So Austin then came towards Karmelo allegedly, and then Karmelo told Austin allegedly to punch him or whatever, and then that's when Austin proceeded to pick up Karmelo's bags, remove them forcefully, and allegedly pushed Karmelo. That is the allegations. And then during this situation, Karmelo turned around and stabbed Austin in the chest and then ran away, discarding the knife. Hi, Diana. Welcome. Good to see you again. Hello. So yes, that's basically the background story. Now I need to clear up some allegations that were made in the other video because again, a lot of people are spreading false information about the story. So of course we have to clear up some of the lies that people have been claiming. I don't understand why people go online and make up false indications about these stories. It's so frustrating because on my channel, Queen Esquire, we're trying to get to the truth. We're trying to find out what really happened here. We're not trying to spread false information. We want to know what really occurred. So basically, one false rumor that people said was that Karmelo previously knew the twins and that during a prior night, the twins aggressively attacked or tried to attack Karmelo's girlfriend, and he defended his girlfriend in a prior occasion. Well, apparently that is a false rumor. According to people that know the family and everybody involved, it appears as though Karmelo really doesn't know these two twins. This was his first encounter with them, allegedly. So that was not true. Well, after the stabbing had occurred, Karmelo was arrested. And when he was arrested, what I found to be, and I mentioned this in my prior statement, what I found to be unjust is that the bond was set for $1 million. And the reason why, as an attorney, I felt that was absurd is because there's various factors that a court must analyze in order to set bail. And the first thing they look at is what they're really looking at is, number one, okay, a person is innocent until they're proven guilty in America. That is what it's supposed to be. But people in this country tend to say people are guilty before they're even given a fair trial. So that's number one. But really, what the purpose of bail is to determine whether the individual, number one, poses a risk or of danger to the community, and two, whether this person is a flight risk. So there's various factors that the court must first analyze to determine whether what amount of bail should be set. So $1 million to me was a little excessive, considering this kid does not have a criminal record. Yes, he did unalive someone, but based on the facts here, it looks like he was saying he's trying to defend himself, protect his person. They were in a dangerous area. When you're on bleachers, anything can happen. People have died just from a mere punch or a mere push. I mean, they could have pushed him forcefully. He could have fell off the bleachers, hit his head, and then been unalive. So there's a lot of different factors that are at play in this indication. So anyways, that was a false allegation. They didn't know him. Now, there's been a lot of racial indications and allegations in this story. But now they have recently set bail. There has been a GoFundMe that has been set for both parties. It looks like Karmelo, in his incident, has raised over $450,000 in his GoFundMe. And a lot of the white supremacist individuals have been trying to get his GoFundMe taken down. And also, the Austin family has raised a lot of GoFundMe. In my opinion about the GoFundMe, I feel like Karmelo is innocent until proven guilty. And until he has been tried in a court of law, people trying to get his GoFundMe taken down is just absurd because we really don't know the full facts. None of us were there. All we know is what he said, she said at this point. So I don't feel like people should remove his GoFundMe. Well, the current update now is that they had a hearing and they had a bail hearing to determine what his bail should be set at. And based upon that hearing, the bail was significantly reduced to 250,000, rightfully so, based upon the factors involved. And it looks like his father, which is Karmelo's father, testified at the bond hearing, showing that he was very heavily tied to the community. He is a 3.7 student, actively involved with his community. He is a captain of his football team. He goes to church, very faithful, devout Christian boy. So those various factors came into play. Also, because he has no criminal record, and due to the underlying allegations that he was defending himself allegedly. That's what was going on. So it looks like Diana has a very good question. You know what? I was so glad you asked that question because I love that question. And we're going to go ahead and post your very good question, Diana. So Diana says, do you think he has a good self-defense case? Oh, goodness. I wish I could say yes, but in my humble opinion, I'll say no. There's many factors involved. Here, there's some factors that I do want to analyze. We want to first look at the fact that he's a juvenile. So the fact that he's a 17-year-old juvenile, initially, that's one thing that's playing in his favor. My opinion is they'll probably try him as an adult because he committed an adult crime. He unalived someone. So one thing, they're probably going to bump this up to an adult case. My other speculation is he probably won't serve life in prison because he did this crime at the age of 17. But who's to know in this country? Now, about this self-defense claim. The reason why I don't think he has a valid self-defense claim, because usually the courts, number one, they're going to say stand your ground, but the court's going to look at the factors and the law at hand, and the law is going to look at the amount of force that was used in this case. Now, we don't know what happened. This thing is, I can't really give you a full answer to that. I can only give you based on the speculations and the allegations we have right now, because I don't know the full details. But based on the allegations that we have before us right now, if the allegations are true that Austin only pushed him and only picked up Karmelo's backpack, and those are the only allegations that are going to be proven in court, and then Karmelo turns around and stabs him in the chest, that is beyond the level of force that would be reasonable in that situation, allegedly, what the court would say. But again, we don't know all the factors involved, Diana, because if it depends on the level of push that was exuded upon Karmelo. There's also allegations that both twins were trying to jump Karmelo. So if there's an allegation that two individuals are involved, there is an allegation that even though Karmelo he's a tall boy, he's about 5'9" or 6 feet. There's a claim that these boys, the twins, weigh more than him. They weigh about 250 pounds. I don't know if that's true, guys. This is allegations. If those two boys are taller than him, they weigh more than him, those could be factors to analyze maybe his level of fear, maybe thought he was fearful for his life. But again, if we just look at the allegations that are presented before us now, it doesn't look like a strong self-defense claim. It looks like to me, but what I will say is, I don't agree with the first degree charge that they're charging him right now. I think that's an excessive charge because they don't have the proof, in my opinion, to really prove that he intended to unalive this boy. On the side that, okay, let's go over both sides of this though. Regarding the first degree murder allegation or unalive allegation, they have to show premeditation and criminal intent. Well, number one, they will say, well, he came there with a knife. He told Austin to basically touch him and see what happens. And then he stabbed him in the chest. So they would say those factors show that he intended to harm him, unalive Austin. However, on the other side of this, when Karmelo was arrested, he did ask whether Austin would be okay. He only stabbed Austin once and he ran away. So it appears that he really was just stabbing him in self-defense just to get away, not really necessarily to unalive him. So I just think the first degree unalive charge, I can't say the M word, I think it's excessive. I think this really should be a manslaughter. And more so, it should be maybe a voluntary manslaughter at worst, and an involuntary at the least. And I think he should definitely get some jail time. But again, in this society, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think he has a good self-defense claim. I think that the jury probably more than likely will convict him. The issue I want to look at is the level of the sentence he'll get. And then Diana, you have another great question. You said all witnesses were friends and family of the victim. That's a good point, Diana. That's going to be a huge factor in the trial, because what the attorneys are going to try to delve into is basically biased. Are the witnesses biased? We don't know actually whether. I think there's witnesses on both sides. There's actually a witness that came out that didn't know any of the parties. He said he was with his son and he witnessed the incident, and he saw that Karmelo was being attacked and was being pushed, and they tried to punch Karmelo. That's what this witness is coming out claiming, allegedly, and he is not a friend of either party. He didn't know Karmelo, and he didn't know twins. So Diana, I don't think they're all solely just friends with Austin. I think it's a variety of students and parents and other people there, staff members. So I think they have a pretty wide array of witnesses that are going to testify. But what you bring up, Diana, is a key point, because if there are just friends and family of Austin, that would indicate that these witnesses are biased and therefore lack credibility. So that is something that the attorneys are going to really hone in on, is to attack the credibility of these witnesses and what are their underlying motives for why they're testifying, to show that they don't have credibility in what they're saying, and that they're basically not reliable witnesses. So that's a key good point that you bring out, Diana, in your question. So now currently today there was a bond hearing, and what occurred is exactly what I expected to happen, is that the bail was reduced significantly down to $250,000, as it should have been reduced. And let's just take a look at Karmelo. Karmelo is going to be walking out of the walking out of the court, and just assess and look at his demeanor as he is walking out. And now I do really am concerned about Karmelo, because there are a lot of people that have been sending threats to his family. He's not in a safe place. Honestly, he's probably safer in jail, if I would say. I don't think they should go back home. I think they should go somewhere else. But let's take a look at him walking out.
We're up.
Karmelo, do you have anything that you'd like to say? Anything that you'd like to say to the victims, to the family of the victim? Why were you armed, Karmelo, why were you armed at school? Explain your self-defense. How is this self-defense?
Excuse me.
No, you didn't say.
I had the problem.
Now, as you can see there, you probably would think, wow, that's pretty traumatic for a kid to have that happen to him. What is going through his mind? This kid looked like he was scared out of his mind. Like, he tried to put on this tough facade, but he's really just a boy. He's really just a boy who made a mistake. And I guarantee you, he didn't mean for this boy to die. I think he honestly really just wanted him to leave him alone. And it's very sad that this has happened, you guys. This is sad. They said the YT reporter was thirsty for a narrative. He was not at school. Yeah, it's like they keep trying to instigate and make this something that's really not, you know? It's very sad they're trying to turn this into race when both families are saying it has nothing to do with race or ethnicity. It has to do with the fact that these are two egotistical teens who are athletes who have high GPAs. And, they're both testing their testosterone, and one is challenging one and one is challenging the other. That's really what is going on. Two egotistical teenagers. That's all it is. You know how teens are. I don't think it has anything to do with color, race, or anything like that. But of course, our society is in a very vulnerable state right now because we have a president out here spewing hatred. So everybody's just tense and on edge, basically. But Reginald says, I believe if he was standing on elevated stairs and if he had been pushed, I presume he thought he had, assume he thought about that when twins were attacking him. Exactly, Reginald. Reginald brings up very key points because, again, there's been many instances where, situations like this, all you have to do is punch somebody once. That's all you got to do. And some people have been unalive. They punch them one way and then they end up losing their footing on the bleachers and fall and hit his head. He has some good key points there. He could have lost his life. But look at his face here. This photo. When he took his mugshot. This is not a kid who looks like he is a killer. This is a kid who looks terrified, remorseful, confused. Like, why am I here? Like he looks very just like scared, like an innocent kid. Like, dude, I didn't mean to do this. I didn't want for this to happen. Like, what is happening? I'm scared. That's what it looks like, a scared kid, guys. I want to look at this as objective as I can. And what I would say is it doesn't look like somebody who is out here trying to unalive somebody. I just feel so sad for this kid because he has such a promising future and now his life is just thrown away. So here's a recent picture of him when he was just released from jail. He came home. I think this is his attorney. They say Karmelo is safe at home. This moment is a reminder that a community united can never be divided. The journey ahead is long, but today we celebrate a victory for justice, for family, and for power of people coming together to protect our youth. Thank you to everyone who stood with us. The fight continues, but tonight Karmelo is home. And this is Karmelo. He looks so happy to be out of that jail. Poor kid. He wants to smile so bad because he's like, I'm just happy to be home right now. He has no idea what he is in for, guys. He has no idea. And the family currently have been receiving death threats. I mean, people are saying they've sent them pictures of Black people being stabbed in the head and different stuff like that. They've been doing some crazy stuff, y'all. Like these racist people out here doing stuff. It's just terrible. So Diana has a good question. She says, do you think the trial should be moved to another county? I haven't assessed whether there is a high intensity in Frisco regarding this case, because my concern is it's Texas. So what county really is going to benefit this young boy no matter where he goes in Texas? You think an all-white jury in Texas is going to really care about this kid? I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be an all-white jury. I mean, maybe they'll probably have some other ethnicities on the jury, but I'm just saying he's in a very compromising state as it is. Texas is not really friendly to African-American people. I'm just saying. I know there's a lot of African-American people live there, but there's still some underlying tensity that goes on in that state. So, should he move? I don't know really, Diana, because I feel like what county can he move to in Texas that's really going to give him a fair trial? This is a Black teenager who unalived a white teenager. And color and ethnicity is a highly sensitive topic in America, especially in Texas. So where do you think he could go in Texas where he'll really get a fair trial? That's what I want to know. Okay, Diana girl, I don't know. I just don't know if I'm praying for him. I really hope he gets a fair trial, but I really don't. I can't say with certainty that he will. Yeah, Diana says, yes, manslaughter. It was not premeditated. Obviously, Diana girl, I agree with you 100%. But again, you got to look at the factors involved. Is he going to get a fair trial? That's the question at hand. And that's the concern at hand. Yeah, Reginald, I'm definitely glad he's home too. I really believe in that this kid is a good kid. I really don't think he really was trying to be out here unaliving. And I looked at his background. This kid was raised by, let's look at his family. I want to show you guys because this kid is not just some kid out here thugging and gangbanging. He's not that type of kid. He's actually a kid that's doing well in school. He plays sports. He gets good grades, and he gets good grades so well that his family rewarded him with the Lexus. So here's a photo of him with his mother and his father. They're still married, rightfully so. And the twins involved, their parents are divorced, but Anthony's family is still married. He still has a mother and father at home. He still has his siblings. They go to church every Sunday. So he's taught right from wrong. So I don't really, this kid's in school. He stays, active. He actually was on the news. Guys, he was on the news for saving a kid who drowned. He saved the life of a kid, and he was reported all over the news. The mother whose child was saved because of him, he came out and spoke about him and just, talked about how he saved her son's life and he's a hero. So he's not just some kid out here really trying to hurt people. I think he really was legit trying to protect himself. Oh, Reginald brought up a good point. Thank you, Reginald. This is the good part about getting your comments in here. I love when I hear feedback. So Reginald says, Harris County would be a fair place. I am in Houston, Texas. Oh, look, that's awesome. So Reginald, you know about Texas. Tell me a little bit about the climate in Texas. And I don't mean like the climate in terms of the weather. I'm talking about, tell me how the cultural divide is there. Like, do you think he can get a fair trial? You're saying Harris County, he'd be a fair place. Okay. So I like that, Reginald. Maybe if they can move him to Harris County. What about Houston, Texas? You said you're there. So how is Houston, Texas? Do you feel like there's racial divide there, or do you just feel like it's not that kind of situation that people think it's like in Texas? Because I'm glad that there's somebody from Texas there, because, I'm not from there, but I hear a lot of things. But here you can see on this photo here, Austin has been getting good grades, and his family rewarded him on his birthday by giving him a Lexus. Okay, clearly their parents aren't going to reward a bad kid. You see here, he's with his dad. He's doing little funny pictures with his dad. He is close. He's a cute boy. Look at him with his cute hair. This kid is not that kind of kid. He's not. That's why I'm actually legit sad for him. There's him right here next to his mom at Disneyland. They're a happy married couple. They got little 4 kids. It said talking about absent father where. So this is him right here when he was little with his dad and mom. That's him when he was younger, on younger days. And again there. So this refutes the whole story that he's just some bad kid. That's why I actually feel a lot of empathy for him. Okay, so good. Okay, Reginald is saying everybody here has a weapon of some sort. Exactly. See, and the problem is that we got a lot of people who don't live in Texas that are chiming in on this, trying to say, oh, he shouldn't have had a knife. Why do you have a knife at a track meet? Well, Texas is open carry over there. Everybody in Texas got a gun, knife. They got something going on. They always got carrying weapons over there. That's the culture. That is the culture of that state. And if people don't understand that, they will go and speculate that this kid is some type of thug out here that's just trying to cause problems, and he's not that kind of kid. So let's take a look at this article. It says Karmelo Anthony, a 17-year-old suspected, showed up in court Monday morning where his lawyers asked for a reduction of his $1 million bond. By Monday afternoon, he had posted bond and was released from jail. Now, his bail was reduced to $250,000, but the judge who reduced it, she was a Black judge, and she is now receiving death threats. So this case has caused so much cultural intensity and divide and just problems. The judge is now being threatened. Okay, Karmelo and his family are being threatened. I honestly think that they should not be living in their residence right now, because people have been posting their address online. It's just so bad. He said, as he left the Collin County Jail, he didn't say a word or answer any questions. The bond reduction hearing kicked off at 9 a.m. with Karmelo walking into the courtroom. in a gold jumpsuit. Oh, he had gold jumpsuit. He was over here flossing on him. Sorry, guys. Handcuffed and chained. Both his parents testified during the hearing. We found out that Karmelo is the oldest of 4 siblings and that his family moved to the DFW area in 2021. He was the captain of both the football and track teams. What? I thought he was just the captain of the football team. Y'all, he's the captain of both the football and track team. This kid is not some type of troublemaker. He's focused on his career. That is so heartbreaking. I just literally feel sad for this kid. For 2 years, he worked at Foot Locker and also had a job at HEB. So he had 2 different jobs. This kid was trying to make his little money and try to focus on his aspirations in sports. He wasn't trying to hurt nobody. Okay. And I use double negatives there. He wasn't trying to hurt anyone. Okay. Howard proposed putting Karmelo on an ankle monitor and placing him under house arrest to give this young man a chance to get out of jail and be with his family. Yeah, I'm glad that he was given a fair opportunity by a black judge, because I'm telling you, if he was a white judge, that boy would have ended up getting a no bond. They would have changed it to a no bond. Okay. It's just so sad. So anyways, right now he's luckily at home. This kid is so sweet and adorable. I'm not gonna lie. I know people are like, why would you say that he unalived the kid? I'm sad about Austin being unalived. I'm very sad. He didn't deserve to be unalive. He didn't deserve to lose his life. It's obvious a soul is gone. But Austin was wrong too. Okay? Austin had no business trying to be prosecutor, judge, and defender of who can sit under what location. Okay, they had no right. He should have got an adult and let the adult handle it. And his mother and father enabling this, saying, oh, well, my son did the right thing. No, your son didn't, girl. This is the problem. You guys need to learn from situations like this. Teach your kids to get an adult, to stay out of situations like this. You're not the police of another teenager. You think another teenager is going to listen to you? They're not going to respect their own peers. They will respect an adult. Okay. Yeah. So Reginald said there's a middle-class family. Yes, a very well-rounded family. He said he would have a better chance for people like me to be a part of the jury pool. Oh, yes, Reginald. We need people like you on there. That's going to give this kid a fair, just trial. I mean, it's sad that the other kid died, but you can't put your hands on people and not expect people to defend themselves.
What was on his mind was what college he was going to go to. This is a tragedy all the way around for both families. Rushing to judgment has the right to defend themselves when they reasonably fear for their life. Self-defense is a protection that applies to each and every one of us. There are 2 sides to every story. And Karmelo is a 17-year-old kid and an excellent student. He is the captain of his track team. He's the captain of his football team. And prior to this, what was on his mind was what college he was going to go to. This is a tragedy all the way around for both families. Rushing to judgment, trial by public perception and trial by media is not how we ensure justice is done. We are confident that after a full investigation, that the truth will come out. Thank you.
News here at 4:30, in case you're just now joining us. Karmelo Anthony, the teenage suspect in that deadly Frisco stabbing at the track meet, just walked out of the Collin County Jail minutes ago. Today, a Collin County judge reduced the bond for the 17-year-old from $1 million down to $250,000. Anthony will have to wear an ankle monitor from here on. He'll be on supervised house arrest and can only leave the house with the approval from the court. He has to stay off social media as well, and he cannot contact the victim's family.
Has the right to defend themselves. Trial by public perception and trial by media has the right to defend themselves is not how.
Sorry, guys. I don't know why that kept doing that. I apologize. But man, do you know what I feel really sad about? This kid had a whole future. He would like this man said on here. I think that's his attorney or something. I don't know who that guy is. But anyway, or his spokesperson, y'all let me know. It's so sad, guys, that this kid had his whole life ahead of him. And now he's going to be in the prison system. And us as African Americans right now got to be careful because they're looking to throw the book at African Americans right now. They're not going to treat African Americans fairly. There's not going to, the fair trials. And you already heard stuff going on with El Salvador. They're trying to ship homegrown citizens over there. If you know what I mean, homegrown means American citizens. So who do you think is going to be the first one that's going to be shipped over to El Salvador when they start shipping Americans? Yes, African Americans. African Americans. So, guys, it's just scary. It's scary. I just really want to hug this kid. He's going to go through it. Okay? Through it. Let's take a look at what some individuals have to say on some of these news stations here on YouTube here. Let's take a look at this guy. He's trying to explain the self.
Sorting 1,000 transactions is exhausting.
Excuse this.
Excuse
this annoying advertisement. They're so annoying. Okay, we're going to skip that.
It's being held on $1 million bond, which was crazy. Today, they reduced it to 250 grand, which is, still sizable.
Whether it's a sort of obvious what we're doing or the implicit one, because we all carry these implicit biases with us that perceive or impact how we perceive an event. Now, what's really it's going to come down to, and I disagree with the guy who said this is not a self-defense case yesterday. I think he said it, implicit one, because we all carry these implicit.
What will matter?
Oh, no, it's definitely a consideration. It always is, whether it's a sort of obvious what we're doing or the implicit one, because we all carry these implicit biases with us that perceive or impact how we perceive an event. Now, what's really it's going to come down to, and I disagree with the guy who said this is not a self-defense case yesterday. I think he said it. This is definitely a self-defense case, because it always is one until you look at the facts of the case and compare the two. You have to compare who was the initial aggressor. Was it an aggressive act for him to go up and say, get away from the tent? Did he do more than that? My understanding was maybe he touched him and put hands on him. Granted, that makes the decedent in this case maybe the initial aggressor. But you really still then have to look at whether or not Karmelo Anthony responded with appropriate force, he used a deadly weapon, and whether or not he was in imminent fear of great bodily injury. That's the standard in Texas and most every state, to determine whether or not his actions, the way he perceived him, the way Karmelo Anthony perceived him when he took out that knife and stabbed him. The good part is if the decedent was the aggressor initially. The bad part for Karmelo, if in fact it's true that he sort of said, touch me and you'll see, because that's that aggression, that's that predisposition towards violence that doesn't have a place in a true self-defense case.
And I agree 100% with what that man said. And I said that during my last video, my part 1 video of this story, is that when he said those keywords, touch me and see what happens, that really, really messed up his case so bad. It messed his case up so bad, because basically what he was saying is he's not afraid of this guy. He's basically saying if he's threatening him, he's posturing him. So that's not going to look too well for a jury. A jury hears that and it's like, you're saying, touch me and see what happens. So basically you're planning on attacking this man and you're not afraid. That's what it's going to present in front of a jury. Those are not good facts for Karmelo. Oh, I wish you wouldn't have said that. I wish you would have not said that. But that's why I said I don't think this is a strong self-defense case. I do understand the defense attorney in that saying that he thinks it's a defense case. He has to say that because he's a defense attorney. But looking at the plain language of the law. Now, Texas does have stand your ground. They do have that law. But that law has been applied very unequally in Texas. You know, they apply it so generously to the white community, but when it comes to black individuals, it's a whole different ball game. So Texas, they have a stand your ground. They're a stand your ground state, which allows defendants to use self-defense without withdrawing first. So they don't have to back away and run away from a attack. They can stand their ground and protect themselves, you know. But again, the person may use deadly force when they reasonably believe it to be necessary to defend against certain violent crimes. So under such a law, people have no duty to retreat before using deadly force in self-defense, so long as they are in a place where they are lawfully present. Now, the key term that I mentioned to you is reasonably believe it is necessary to defend against certain violent crimes. So he can argue on one end, these are two big, overgrown, bulky twin boys that are trying to attack him because people are claiming that he was being jumped by both of them. That's what one of the witnesses are saying. One of the witnesses that have come out and spoke has said they think that Karmelo was about to be, they saw Karmelo was about to be jumped by these two twins. And if he's on, you know, bleachers, he could easily slip, hit his head, and die, basically. So he could arguably say he did feel that his life was in danger. Oh, how cute, guys. Let me show you this cute picture. This picture doesn't have Karmelo in it, but it does show his cute mom. She's so pretty. And the dad. So this is a black and white picture, but it says in the middle here, that picture right here of these two this is Karmelo's mom, and this is Karmelo's dad. Oh, how cute. I really pray they're going to be okay. Okay, they said today, call-in judge reduced from 1 million. The Next Generation Action is currently working with Anthony's family. Oh, the Next Generation Action Network is currently working with the Anthony family to get the bond process and will keep the community updated regarding his release. That's when they're getting released. But this right here is the mom of Karmelo, where my mouse is, and this is the father. Currently, photos of them. They're so cute, guys. Aww. I know people are so mad. They're like, why are you defending them? Blah, 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 blah. Hi, Gino. Oh my gosh, I've been busy with work, Gino. Work has been crazy. As you guys know, I am a active practicing attorney. And I started a new job, and that new job was, and it's still very overwhelming. I have a demanding career. So it does take it's all consuming. It takes a lot of my time. You know, sometimes on the weekend I have to spend time on my cases and work them. I have about 8 different cases I'm working on right now that's going to come to a head. And it takes a lot of my time. You know, I'm an active attorney. I'm not like a retired attorney or anything. I actually currently work in my field, so it's became very demanding. That's really where I've been, Gino. But I miss you guys so much. I'm really gonna make a sacrifice to try to at least come here on live at least once a week. I know that's not a lot like I used to, but if I can at least dedicate myself to one time a week, and then if I can add more time in there, I will. If you guys have stories you want me to share, please let me know. Just put it in the comments or put it in the post. Say, hey, I want you to cover this story, and I'll go research it. And we'll talk about it, and we'll have an open dialogue. But anyways, let's get back to this. So the photo here that I want to show you here, this lady right here is the judge. She is the one that reduced his bail down from 1 million to 250,000. So people are now making threats to her life. Poor lady. And she was a black judge. See people out here talking about they mad. I don't even want to look at the comments because they just, I'm scared to look at the comments because you already know they're going to say something about race. Everything's about race. So again, that's the judge. At least she treated him fair. But that's why we need black judges, black doctors, black everything, because we need people that are going to treat black individuals, brown individuals, white individuals, everybody fairly. And if we don't have representation, then we don't have a guarantee that they're going to be treated fairly. So let's see this guy again.
For their life. Every Texan has the right to defend themselves when they reasonably fear for their life. Self-defense is a protection that applies to each and every one of us. There are 2 sides to every story. And Karmelo is a 17-year-old kid and an excellent student. He is the captain of his track team. He is the captain of his football team. And prior to this, what was on his mind was what college he was going to go to. This is a tragedy all the way around for both families. Rushing to judgment, trial by public perception and trial by media is not how we ensure justice is done. We are confident that after a full investigation, that the truth will come out. Thank you.
Mike, you took umbrage with the state's assessment that this was simple and brutal. Why so?
Well, the fact of the matter is, like I said, there's two sides to every story, and we've only heard one side. In any criminal case, the police investigate, and the defense is always far behind that. And so it is a one-sided investigation to this point, and even that investigation is still ongoing. So to say that it happened this way or that way is just not accurate at this point. All of the facts are going to come out, and that's why our system of justice requires that we keep our minds open and we let the facts come out as they are after a full investigation.
Is your client going to be able to make bond and get out today?
I anticipate that he will be able to make bond. I can't speak to how quickly that will go. Funds, in the funds that have been raised are not quick to come out.
So I just confirmed that this man here on the screen is Karmelo's lawyer. He's a pretty good lawyer. I like this guy. The way he's speaking and just fervently and articulate and persuasively advocating for Karmelo. I really, really like this guy. I'm feeling good about him. I know they have recently replaced his prior attorney. So he had another attorney, and his family have used the proceeds that they obtained from the GoFundMe. Or not the GoFundMe, there's another, because that GoFundMe got taken down. So there was another, it's called Go to Send app. I don't know what it's called, Got to Send app. I really don't know the name of the other app. Put it in the chat if you know what I mean. But his other fundraiser is still active. And a lot of people have tried to get that fundraiser taken down. And really, I'm really appreciative of the representative who owns that app. And she said, he's innocent until proven guilty, just like Austin is innocent. Everybody is innocent until they are proven guilty. And so honestly, Austin is not even here to even know, to be able to justify and defend himself. So that part doesn't. But she's basically saying everybody's innocent until proven guilty. So for her to take down his fundraiser is just unjustified because he hasn't been prosecuted. And I appreciate and agree with her statement because it's like, this kid hasn't been prosecuted yet. So for them to try to treat him as though he's a criminal is absolutely absurd. But I wanted to bring up what Reginald said, because he does bring up a very good point. And I agree with him. He says, African Americans are tired of being bullied. We have had it, especially when we have Trump in office and we are surrounded by racists. We need to protect ourselves. Great show, First Life. Thank you, Reginald. So let's break down what he says here, because I really like what he said here. He said African Americans are tired of being bullied. Well, yeah, I hear a lot of this from African Americans. Individuals are saying we are not like our ancestors. What that means is they're saying, hey, we about to fight back. But I'm a little worried about that. Reginald, because we are in a very vulnerable time for African Americans, which means it's not the right time for us to fight back. I know you want to. I get it. We're tired of being bullied. We're tired of being oppressed. We're tired of being targeted. But this is not the right time. And the reason why I say that is because if you have assessed and reviewed Project 2025, the intention is for basically Trump has already got rid of all of the records regarding injustices that some police have done and the police brutality that they have done to minorities, especially the Black community. He removed all those records, and he did that for a particular reason. And what they want to do is they want to have police go out to Black communities and basically use as much oppression, force, whatever they can on the black community. And they want to be able to arrest and sentence individuals in the black community for the longest sentences they can give them. And there's a lot of to go into that. One that they want to do is they're trying to return us back to slavery, but also there's an issue with the El Salvador thing now, where they're going to probably ship a lot of us to El Salvador. Okay. Trump just said today that he wants to send homegrown individuals to El Salvador. What do you think he's going to do? He's going to go after minorities first. So I don't think it's really a good idea to try to defend yourself at this point. I think all we really could do as the black community is call our representatives, use our platforms to speak out against it. Try to get into politics, try to get into different leadership, stay calling them representatives, and try to let the white community, I'm just saying, let them protest right now. Okay. They need to protest because we need them to be our voice right now. I'm sorry. I know it sounds weird to say that, but it's not safe for black individuals to be out here fighting. I'm telling you, I'm really worried about our black people, because I'm like, they are going to use the worst force. They're going to impose the most harsh long-term sentences, death penalty, ship us out of the U.S., whatever they can do. And there is a constitutional right, basically, that if you are arrested for a crime, they can basically force you into slavery. Okay, if you're a criminal and you're in prison. People don't know that, but that's actually in the Constitution. So there's a strategy to it all. I don't think it's a good idea right now. I get that African Americans are tired. We are tired, but it's not the right time, Reginald. It's not. We got to find other ways to do it in a way that's not going to break the law, so that we're not treated unjustifiably. It's very vulnerable. So let's see what else he said here. Yeah, so he made some pretty good points here. I wanted to just talk about that. Sorry that I went on a tangent. I just did want to give you guys an update on this tragedy. Again, both sides lost a family member, so may Austin rest in peace. But it does teach us a lesson that we can't go around just thinking we can tout our authority on someone. What Austin should have did is got an adult, and I don't think Karmelo should have stabbed the kid either. I think there's a different way they could have handled this. But again, we shall see what happens. You guys have a lovely night. Like, comment, and subscribe. And please tell me what other stories you would like me to cover. Take care.